Hello to my 7th graders. This is me waving at you guys. Hi. Hello. I'm sure Mr. Anderson is rolling his eyes right now. So today we're going to be looking at lesson 6.7. We're going to get into the lesson. Yesterday you guys wrote the examples 1 through 4 out, and hopefully you guys, as you were writing, gained an understanding of the process of solving word problems, coming up with a variable, and answering the question using all the tips I gave you on those worksheets. If you guys need another copy of those worksheets, let Mr. Anderson know. We'll get a list and we'll make sure you guys get that worksheet. So anyway, 1 through 10 all. On numbers 1 through 4, you will do the equation only. So if you look at the instructions for 1 through 4, it just says choose a variable to represent the unknown. So you're just going to choose a variable to answer your question, and then you're going to write an equation only. You do not need to solve it, you just need the equation. And then 5 through 10, we are going to find an equation for that word problem, and then we're going to solve it. For number 1, this is not necessarily a word problem, it's more of a word phrase. So let's find what the equation is. Again, you don't have to solve it, but we'll just make up an equation. Okay, so let's circle our important information. Well, maybe I can highlight it. So 2/3 of a number, and then is 46. So let's start from left to right. So 2/3, you guys know how to write that. Okay. Of means what in algebra? It means multiply. Okay. A number, you can pick any variable you want. I'll pick it n because n number starts with n, and then is equals 46. So I will accept that as your answer. To be more proper though, you would just need to put 2/3 n, because this is the same thing. 2/3 times n, 2/3 times n equals 46. I would like you guys to start writing them like that and less like that. That's more elementary, but again, this is the same as this, so I will accept this as correct, but try to get in the habit of writing your equation like this. So that's number 1. Number 2, again, they just want an equation. 45% is written in decimal form as 0.45. So that's just some information to let you know that 45% written in decimal form is 0.45. Remember to find how to change a percent to a decimal. You would just go to the end of your whole number of 45 and move 2 spaces. So 45% written in decimal form is 0.45. So let's move on. So again, this is more of a word phrase here. 45% of a number is 36. So it says if 45% of a number is 36, what is the number? So we're trying to look for what n equals. So let's go ahead and write this out, our word phrase. So 45% written as a decimal, 0.45 of, meaning multiply, a number, n, is, remember is an equal sign, and then, oops, is 36. So again, I want you to write this in more proper form. So you're going to have 0.45 times n, just kind of put them together, equals 36. This would be written properly for algebra. This is correct, however, still. So whichever way you want to do it, but again, try to get in the habit of putting your number and your variable next to each other. This signifies multiplication. Number 3, Jean decided to spend $104.76, that's important information, on gift favors for a party. If each gift costs $5.82, how many gifts did she buy? So here is our question that we need to assign a variable to. And we will assign the variable G, just because it starts with, gift starts with G. So we're going to say let G equal gifts purchased. Okay, we'll just let them. And then next, we need to figure out how much she spent total. We know total she spent $104.76. We'll go ahead and leave out the dollar sign for now. We'll just remember that we're dealing with money here. So the reason I put my $104.76 on this side of the equal sign is because this is how much I know she spent. So this is total. You'll always want to put your total to the right of the equal sign. Next, move it down a little bit. We know that she spent $5.82 per gift. So in order to find that how many gifts she bought, we need to multiply the cost times how many gifts she bought. And we don't know that. That's the unknown. That's why they're asking the question. So $5.82 times G, the amount she bought, equals $104.76. So that is going to be your equation. You don't have to leave this big space there. It's just 5.82 times G equals 104.76. Some of you may be thinking, why can't I just divide 104.76 by 582? And you can do that too. So it's just a different equation with the same answer. As you remember, to get G by itself, you divide both sides by 582. So there's your division equation. Oops. So both are acceptable, both are right. So it's just the way your brain thinks. This equation is just as valid as that first one that I wrote. 5.82 G equals 104.76, or G equals this division problem. Number 4 says, TJ is wallpapering his bedroom. The room has 8 feet high ceilings and is 12 feet long. If the perimeter of the room is 48.5 feet, what is the width of the room? So a couple key words here. They're giving us perimeter. Well, actually, yeah, they're giving us the perimeter of the room at 48.5 feet. So that's our total. And they're asking, what is the width of the room? Now remember, when we're talking about perimeter, we're talking about, pretend this is your room, your bedroom. Most rooms are kind of rectangle-ish. And we know that the total perimeter of the room equals 48.5 feet. We also know that in our information, we're told that the room is 12 feet long. I'm just going to draw in my diagram here 12.5 feet long. And if this is 12.5 feet long, this is 12.5 feet long. So let's take a look at what is our width. Well, we don't know our width. That is the big unknown. So I'm going to write over here, let W equal width. So now I have all my information to finish my equation here. So a couple ways you could do it. You could write on this side of the equation, you could write W plus W plus 12.5 plus 12.5 equals 48.5. That would be okay. That would be correct. However, since you just have two lengths here and two widths here, it would make sense to just write it like this. 2 times 12.5, because you have two measurements there, plus 2 times W. Makes sense? And then that's all they're looking for. They're just looking for the equation. So that would be your equation for this problem. You don't need the feet in there yet. At the end, you can, we're not solving for feet, we're just solving for width. But yeah, so this would be your equation. Hopefully you guys understand that. Ask Mr. Anderson if you're confused. Just kidding. Hopefully you guys got it. One last thing before we go to the next problem. I just want you to note that if you remember, I told you guys sometimes they put information in word problems that you don't need just to kind of trick you or confuse you, which is really cruel. No, I'm just kidding. But like this, TJ is wallpapering his room. Well, you know, that's fine. You can accept that information. But here where they really were cruel is they put the room has 8 feet high ceilings. That has nothing to do with perimeter of the room, because the perimeter of the room is just the length and width of the room, you know, doubled. So this was the 8 feet you would think would go somewhere in this equation, but no, that's only if we're dealing with area, and we're not. The problem wanted only perimeter. Okay. Number 5, after cutting 1 5/8 inch off the end of a piece of molding, a carpenter had the exact length that he needed, which was 32 1/8 inch. What was the length of the original piece of molding? So first of all, for some of you girls who don't know, that's kind of biased. But anyway, molding, I believe, is like a baseboard, right, Mr. Anderson? Like crown molding goes around the perimeter of the room. Sometimes like the baseboards at the bottom of the wall. You guys know what I'm talking about? So that's what molding is, just so you have an idea of what we're talking about if you didn't know. So let's first take a look at our important information. So we know that these numbers are going to be important, right? And we want to also take a look at our question. What is the length of the original piece of molding? So we're looking for length. So let's let L equal our length. So let L equal length of this piece of molding. And just for a visual, let's draw a piece of molding. We'll just say this is our molding. It says that the carpenter cut 1 5/8 inch off the end of the molding. So let's just guess that he cut right here 1 5/8 inch off of the entire piece of molding. And then it goes on to say, after doing that, he had the exact length that he wanted, that he needed, which was 32 1/8 inch. So if this is that 1 5/8, this from here to this, to these striated marks, will be 32 1/8 inches. So we do get a nice visual of what he needed, 32 1/8 inch, how much he cut off in order to get what he needed, and then what was the length of the original piece of molding? Well, that would just be from beginning to end. And wouldn't it make sense to figure out how much the original length of this piece of molding was if we just add 32 1/8 plus 1 5/8? That would give us our answer. But for the sake of algebra, they want an equation, so a couple equations that could work here would just be 32, well, let's see, 32 1/8 plus 1 5/8 equal L. That'll give us our length. Or we can flip it around and subtract 30. So let's just circle that because that's a legit equation. Or 32 and subtract 32 1/8 from this side minus 32 1/8 on this side. And that would give us a fair equation as well. So 1 5/8 equals the length minus 32 1/8. Okay, so that is an equation as well. So these two equations equal each other. You can pick either one. And then next they want us to solve it. So to solve for L, I need to get L, or the length, I need to get rid of negative 32 1/8 because I need to isolate L or get L all by itself. So I'm going to add 32 1/8 to both sides. These cancel out. I'm left with L, or length, on this side. Now I need to add my two fractions here. So I'm going to add the numerators together. 5 and 1 gives me 6. The denominator stays the same, so 6/8. And 32 plus 1 is 33. I need to reduce 6/8, divide by 2. 33 3/4 is my length. So for number 5, you need two answers. You need the length, I think it's what, inches? Yeah, 33 3/4 inches, and you need one of these equations. 1 5/8 equals L minus 32 1/8. Before I got it all messy there. So 1 5/8 equals L minus 32 1/8 as your equation. Everybody understand that one?